welcome to the channel and welcome to one of the first 2022 readings, aside from, of course, the new moon readings I just did. So welcome. I hope that you're having an amazing start to your new year and that January is shaping up nicely for you. So this is going to be a collective message first of all, and then we'll have a quick peek into the individual signs' energies in terms of what is likely to be the key theme for 2022. So to begin with, I've pulled some oracle from the quantum to see what is the collective theme of 2022, bearing in mind this number breaks down in numerology to a 6, which is the number of triumph, overcoming obstacles. It is the number of change, significant change. It is level up. So this is what I see reflected in the oracle as well, interestingly enough, because the first card out is status quo, i.e. the paradigm shift that is coming. This is something that is being changed here. Status quo, the loving woman in reverse, the divine feminine offline, that is changing. Great gratitude, okay? So abundance, pouring in and being thankful to the divine for the support, and a consciousness of lack. This is something else that I feel like is shifting. Okay, so again, it's interesting how this is the energy of the cycle, this is what's happening in terms of the individual, and this is what's happening on a collective level, right? Because it even shows here cycle, people, consciousness in terms of the categories for these cards. And that's exactly what I've been feeling for the longest time. I mean, we started seeing this shift over the last 2-3 years, but this is really being solidified this year, especially with status quo. I feel like the norm has changed significantly, not just because of the pandemic. I mean, sure, that is a key component in this, but I feel like that is just the obvious go-to, right? But in terms of what's happening on an unconscious level, what's happening on a soul level, what's happening on a mental level, emotional level, even physically in terms of what's happening with our DNA, there are upgrades taking place now, significant upgrades, but it all does depend on your choices. You have to be riding the wave. You have to be aligning with the frequency. If you're actively going against it, if your actions do not reflect the changes that are coming in, i.e. if you're fighting against change rather than embracing it, then you're making life 10 times more difficult for yourself. And ultimately, when all is said and done, you're going to realize that it was for naught, because change is coming regardless. You cannot, stop time. So that's what I feel like is being highlighted at this point, that whatever you know to be your normal, even at a time where nothing feels normal, that is going to shift once again. So the best thing that you can take from these experiences is to get comfortable with the discomfort, to get acquainted with the energies of change, because things are constantly in flux, and it's only going to become more prevalent and more significant as time goes on. We're going to see monumental changes coming up, especially in 2022. I feel like things are going to, in some ways, stabilize, but in other ways, our crutches, our comfort zones are being completely uprooted. So instead of waiting for the tower to come crashing down and having no choice but to look at alternatives, it's better to embrace the change as the energy presents itself in various forms. Now, with the loving woman in reverse, I feel like this was about the divine feminine and the massive hits that the divine feminine aspect has taken for the longest time. That is now changing, because you've got to remember as well that the masculine energy is starting to awaken, but I feel like there was a long dormant period, and in that time it became so much of a burden for the feminine that in a lot of ways the feminine aspect started to shut down. And that's what we see personified here with the loving woman in reverse, because the feminine was doing a lot of the healing, holding space, holding spiritual space as well, why the masculine was yet to awaken. And I feel like it took so long that the feminine became drained, became tired of being disregarded, and to the point where the feminine stopped giving, stopped being the nurturer, started to shut down emotionally, became cold, became distant, became completely self-reliant, and no longer about the collective. But this is changing as well. As the masculine becomes more and more online, I feel like the feminine is going to start recalibrating once more. With great gratitude. I feel like a lot of the people who have been doing the work, they're going to see significant abundance come in this year. I feel like a lot of seeds that were planted between 1 year ago to even up to 8 years ago, that's now coming to fruition. There's certain things that were in the making over a long period of time. For some people, it was literally up to 8 years. For most people, I would say between 1 and 4, right? But now, all of those efforts, all of those seeds that have been planted, all of that energy, that time, those resources that went into building something is going to start paying off. I feel like because of all the karma that has been essentially weighed in on, there's a lot of things that are starting to be uprooted so that this can come in. So don't be surprised as part of this paradigm shift that a lot of things start to look very different, especially in terms of not only in terms of abundance, career, resources, but also in your interpersonal relationships. They're having a massive overhaul at this time, especially I feel like a big part of that was triggered by the Venus retrograde as like an introduction to that, right? But you're going to see that more as 2022 plays out. There's a lot of connections that are going to be tested to the max. And those who stay true to the vision, to their heart, to love, to nurturing their connections, they're going to see them flourish and thrive and go to the next level. Those who abandon them at the first sign of trouble, not so much. Okay. And with a consciousness of lack, again, this is about karma being weighed out. So like I said, those who've been doing the work, those who are focused on really taking care of self, nurturing new positive healthy habits as part of their day-to-day lifestyle, really looking at healing, really looking at learning, becoming even more resourceful, maybe even adapting a new skill, maybe investment, okay, in self, maybe into some kind of physical currency asset, property. That is going to pay off, provided you do your research, okay? Research is going to be really key. But those who remain in this energy, of course, is going to see even more loss, okay? I feel like those as well, who were not coming from the best place, those who were not coming with good intentions, they're going to take a massive financial hit this year, okay? So that's why it's really important to do the groundwork now and to check yourself, because there's a lot of people that have just been riding by on life with, you know, being able to undercut people, steal contracts, steal money, lie, embezzle, you know, whatever it is, or depend on the resources of others, whatever that is. If that goes unchecked, I'm telling you, the loss is going to be huge. For others, it's about recalibrating the mindset. If you're in this fear mentality, this lack mentality, you're going to find it very difficult to manifest this year. And it'd be such a shame, because you have a very powerful opportunity to attract hugely positive changes in your life. So mindset is also going to be very key moving throughout the year. Okay. Not to say there's going to be times where, you know, you're not going to have a bit of a dip or things don't go exactly according to plan. Of course, that's to be expected. But there's a difference between kind of taking a bit of a loss or, you know, having some off days or off moments than just perpetually being in this mindset of everything's falling apart around me. I don't have anything. I don't have this. I don't have that. You know, that's a completely different thing. Yeah, interestingly, at the bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. I've shuffled these cards before I started the reading. So yeah, it all comes down to where you align your vision, your energy, your time, your resources. But anyway, we're going to shuffle again because I always like to shuffle again on camera. My initial shuffles, my pre-shuffles, is mostly for energy clearing. I always like to go again on camera once I've got the key messages out. Okay. So we're going to see what else we can find out for the collective for this year. So what else is it that the collective needs to know in regards to this? Okay, Page of Cups. I will show you the cards in a moment. Pisces energy. Muse of Materials. That's the King of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Awakening, Scorpio, and also Sag. Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. Interesting. But on the deck, the Devil. Yes. That comes back to this and this, okay? Interesting. So don't get caught up on the signs. I'm just telling you the energies that are present. But bear in mind, this is for the collective overall. This is what we're experiencing on a collective level this year. Page of Cups. Yeah. So this is about starting. You can even see a little doorway here, right? There's an archway leading to an abundant new reality, and that's exactly what this is about, right? We can see two pathways here, right? Very abundant. One that leads to land, one that leads to sea. But regardless, the paradigm shift is here, and it's all about how are you going to step forward? What energy are you going to carry as you take those initial steps towards the new life cycle? Because bearing in mind, a lot of karma is being cleared at this time. The scales have been weighed, judgment has been cast, and as such, your fortune, your luck, your ability to manifest, the types of situations you'll find yourself will largely depend on the last cycle and how you navigated those circumstances, right? So for a lot of people, there is a new opportunity here, something that is going to bring a sense of fulfillment, intrigue, curiosity. So I feel like it's a very good time as well to approach this cycle with childlike wonder, right? With childlike curiosity. But not only that, but looking at it with fresh eyes. If you can do that, it's going to put you in the best possible position. If you try and look at it and judge it based on the past cycle, you're setting yourself up for failure because it's not the same. So the best thing you can do is have an open mind, an open heart, and go forward with the best of intentions, I would say. All right, King of Pentacles. Yeah. Again, another portal, another doorway, archway, right? So many portals in this reading, it's insane. Again, it depends on your choice. Because ultimately, you will find this pathway in the end, but you can, stop along the way. You can turn back and try to go back. You'll hit a dead end, but you can try. A lot of people will. But there's going to be significantly more, I feel, that will move forward. Because at this point, collectively, we've chosen this. You've got to bear that in mind. The reason we are in the new cycle now is because the collective proactively chose this, okay? It couldn't happen without the input of the collective. I don't think people realize just how powerful we are as the unit. We have the ability to literally manipulate time, manipulate our reality, our collective reality, okay? Bearing in mind individual reality is another thing, but in terms of what the general consensus of, in terms of our reality and how we shape that, we are extremely powerful over that. That's why there are those, the forces at work, the powers that be, that want to shape the collective overview of this new reality that's being birthed, right? So it's very, very important that you keep very clear in your mind's eye the type of reality you want to manifest. Especially because I feel like the masculine energy at this time is now ready to step forward and be the provider, to be the support, to be the protector, right? Protecting the vision. Being like a gatekeeper, as it were, while the feminine slowly comes back to center and is ready to birth the reality, right? That's being protected by the masculine. Amazing. But, like I said, There's a lot of healing that's still taking place right now in terms of the feminine, because honestly, the divine feminine aspect has taken a huge hit. The masculine has come online now, which is great. We needed that to happen. So that's why we're seeing a lot of new possibilities being sparked. People conversing about positive changes, taking action. But the intuitive aspect that is required in order to lead it in the correct direction, that is going to be key in terms of where the divine feminine comes in. And that's why it's important the divine feminine does heal, because otherwise, you know, action without direction can lead to disaster. So that's the point. That's the key thing here. You need both aspects of self and the collective to be online and working in tandem, right? In harmony. Otherwise, if there's discord between the two aspects, you see chaos, right? It just can't work. So that's what is essentially is happening here. With awakening, I feel like this is about breakthroughs, realizations, epiphanies, spiritual awakening, spiritual upgrades. This is significant levels up. I mean, a lot of people are going through a Phoenix rising period again, right? There was a bit of that going on last year as well, but it's more significant this year. This year is the year where people can start really solidifying their dreams into the 3D. Last year, it was all about overcoming the spiritual hurdles, right? As well as the physical ones. This year, it's about bringing the vision from the 5D to the 3D. And I see a lot of people starting to do that, starting to realize, oh, I can actually do this. I didn't know I was capable of doing this. Of course you are, right? Like, it's insane how much we underestimate our ability to essentially create whatever the hell we want. But a lot of that had to be unlocked, that awareness, that innate knowledge that we have of self and our capabilities as co-creators. But that is starting to happen on a significant scale, on a larger scale. That's why more people than ever are starting to look at starting a new project for themselves, or starting a new business, or collaborating, you know, working as a unit, working in community settings, right? Rather than relying on others to build for them, or to support them, or to create something that would be beneficial for them and the collective. People are taking the initiative to be the ones to create it. And I feel like the divine is blessing those who have the vision and the will to do it with the means. So if you were worried about not having the means to make something happen, this is the year where you're going to find resources in places that you never expected, right? From people perhaps you never expected to invest in your idea, to invest in you, because they believe in you. And that in itself can be shocking for a lot of you, right? So this is the year to expand your vision, expand your horizons. Don't limit it by any means. Think big, because that's what the world needs right now. The world doesn't need you shrinking your vision, shrinking your energy, shrinking your light. This is the kind of mentality we want to leave behind. Think big, okay? Allow yourself to dream big. And then think about what needs to happen practically for that to start becoming very much a tangible thing. And like I said, you'll be surprised where you can find support, where you can find resources. It will seem like blessings for some of you that just came out of absolutely nowhere, but it wasn't. It was a seed you planted a long time ago, and now it's bearing fruit. Okay. And with the Queen of Wands, why did I say Queen of Wands? Interesting. Okay, that's a very proactive energy as well. The Queen of Wands is someone who is very magnetic, attracts abundance and opportunities for abundance. So that ties into this message here. So I don't think it was an accident, even though it was a slip of the tongue, but I feel like it's not without meaning that I said the Queen of Wands, because again, that is an energy of someone, Aries energy, who proactively sources opportunities, right? Without having to try so hard, right? They just spot them and align with them, right? They just make things happen. So interesting. But yeah, the Queen of Cups. So this is where I feel like your emotional health is going to be absolutely key this year. Nurturing oneself, nurturing and fostering healthy connections with others who are also doing the same. Aligning with divine counterparts, with soul family. Working together, but also staying true to who you are, right? In the process. whilst also evolving, whilst also going through these changes. Because that's the thing, a lot of the time there is this kind of, there's almost like this debate, because people are like, oh, just be yourself, stay true to you. Yes, you need to. But on the other hand, you also need to be open to change, willing to change, be proactive in your healing, in your personal growth, in your emotional, mental, spiritual expansion. Because otherwise, if you limit yourself on any level, then you are not going to see the types of changes in your life that you're looking to see. Because especially if it's on a grand scale, it's going to require you to level up to meet that. So that's the thing. Not that you're not deserving or capable or you're not already worthy of it. It's nothing to do with that. It's about changing frequency and taking a very close and honest look at the things that hold you back. And that's what it's about here. Whether it's self-sabotaging thoughts, behaviors, actions, beliefs. These are the things that are going to be addressed this year. And I feel like it's going to be a very profound time for healing as well. So if you've been on the healing journey, I honestly believe this year is going to be supercharged, and you're going to get a lot more love and support than you ever thought that you would. So that's gorgeous. All right, interesting. So I feel like we have a good overview of the year in terms of the key energies. So now I just want to have a quick look at individual messages for each sign. They will be timestamped so you can jump to them, all right? So let's see. We'll start off with Aries. What is the key theme for Aries in 2022? You have the Chariot in reverse, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. Cancer, Gemini energy could mean something to you. So it looks like Aries, this is all about reassessment. Okay, I feel like this is about you taking a step back and looking at what is it that you fear about letting go. There is a need to surrender control here, and I feel like you're going to be tested with that. There's going to be situations that come up this year that's going to ask you to surrender, because I feel like you may have real struggle with taking your cues from the divine, and as such I feel like for a lot of you, you may have steered off course last year. So this year is all about course correction and learning when to surrender control, is what I feel. And if you're able to do that, then you're going to see some very powerful and profound changes by the time 2022 closes out. All right, so now let's take a look for Taurus. Taurus, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, that's Virgo, and the Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay. So for Taurus, I feel like this is really about, again, challenging your comfort zones. Okay, so it kind of ties into the collective theme. I think you're being asked to challenge yourself. Where is it that you often find yourself, pulling the brakes? Okay, there is an energy of procrastination, but it's not from a place of laziness, it's from a place of fear, of self-preservation. What is it that you're afraid of? What is it that you feel like you can't move towards? Whatever it is that you fear most, that's exactly what you need to address at this time. And I feel like if you're able to overcome your fear and, stop the self-sabotaging behavior of procrastination, when you know it's time to really, put your foot on the gas, I think you're going to see some very quick and swift changes, into your life. But it does require you taking a look at the things that you really don't want to look at. Okay, let's have a look for the sign of Gemini. What is it that Gemini is going to be focused upon? Or rather, what is the key theme for Gemini in 2022? Okay, it's two more, but I'll take it. Interesting. You have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, that's your energy. The King of Pentacles in reverse, that's Taurus, so that's funny. And you have the Six of Cups in reverse, yeah. So this is about really looking at some patterns here when it comes to how you reflect generational trauma in your interpersonal relationships. That's what I feel like. And how you can break those patterns, how you can release connections from your past with forgiveness, with love, as opposed to bitterness and resentment. If you can do that, then I feel like you're going to find yourself in some very nurturing, loving, healthy connections moving forward. But it does require you to be very proactive in your healing at this time, okay? Because there's, like I said, there is a reoccurring theme here in all of your interpersonal relationships, and it does hark back to, you know, some kind of generational trauma or something you experienced in your early childhood that has shaped how you look at your interactions with others. Okay, so now let's take a look at Cancer. What is the key theme for Cancer in 2022? Okay, we've got 4 cards here as well. Okay, you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Virgo energy, Queen of Swords in reverse, that's Libra, the Chariot, there you are, Cancer, and the World card. Wow, that's all the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So a lot of signs there, but regardless, this is completion, okay? This for you is about well and truly wrapping up a karmic cycle for good, okay? This is something that's been in the making for years, possibly even decades for some of you, okay? But this has been a big one. This is, I mean, we have mini cycles and we have larger cycles. This one is huge that you're closing out, but I see you doing it. The main thing here is knowing when to give and when to pull back, right? Knowing when to surrender and when to really start being proactive in navigating your reality. Because I feel like for some of you, I feel like you struggle with putting yourself forward, okay? You don't like being in the limelight very much, I feel. You may have some fears around communication or being misunderstood, which is why you prefer taking the back seat. But that's got to come to an end as well, because you're being asked to come forward, right? And the divine is going to guide you there. So as long as you take your cues from the divine, and you're doing what is needed to truly close this karmic cycle, I feel like you're going to be in a position where you need to start coming forward as a leader of some shape or form, which makes sense because you are a cardinal sign. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at Leo. Whoop, got it. Oh, did you see how that flipped? Okay. Sorry about that, Leo. My camera timed out. Forget about that sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, you have the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Temperance in reverse. That's Sagittarius energy. You're going to find yourself in possibly some scenarios that will show you that abundance comes in many forms, not just in the form of finances, okay? Money, currency, the material. That abundance can come in other forms such as support systems, community, a commitment. So I feel like there may be a situation that comes up that will force you to depend on the support of another or of a community, a group, okay? And it's to teach you that, you know, abundance does actually come in all forms, and that it's important to not overemphasize the importance of money in comparison to other forms of abundance. So it's to help you calibrate that, right? And for some of you, this is about allowing your significant other, for those of you who are in a divine union or that will be going into a divine union this year, allowing them to also play their role, to do their part, right? This is a partnership. So again, I feel like there's a strong emphasis on collaboration, community over competition. Okay, so let's have a look for the sign of Virgo. What is Virgo's key theme for 2022? All right. This card's coming up a lot, interestingly. All right, Virgo, you have the King of Pentacles in reverse, Taurus energy, the Six of Pentacles, and the Magician in reverse. That's your energy along with Gemini. So, Virgo, it looks like the key theme for you this particular year is about, it's about balance, actually. it's about knowing what's a good investment and what isn't. For some of you, it is about finances, but for more so, I feel like this is about where you give your energy. It's not just about how you spend your money. It's not only about where you spend your time, where your focus lies, but it's also about your energy, right? What do you align with? So I think this is about making good, positive, healthy choices, balanced choices, right? Knowing what you have to give and not compromising your stability by oversharing, overgiving. Finding a healthy balance where you know your stability isn't dependent on another, or that your fulfillment, happiness, abundance isn't reliant on the other, or on giving more than you can to a situation, a connection, to whatever this is. Could even be about work, okay? Finding a balance, you know, a work-life balance essentially is what I'm getting here. So I feel like there may be a situation where you're pushed to really start considering how you may be giving far too much and leaving yourself with very little, especially if this is involving a business, a workplace, right? For some of you, I feel like your work-life balance is very much highlighted this year. Okay. So now let's have a look for the sign Libra. What is the key theme for 2022 for Libra? We had a card flick up. All right, interesting. Seeing some reoccurring cards here. You have 4 cards, Libra, but we'll take it. So 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands in reverse, the 8 of Wands in reverse, and the King of Wands in reverse, Leo energy. Okay, this is what I'm getting. In the past, you may have found yourself in some very codependent energy. And I feel like as such, it kind of put you in this, almost like a hermit mode. It made you very reluctant to explore new possibilities, new connections, right? But I do see you doing that. I do see you giving, possibly to a specific connection or to a specific project, a specific opportunity, right? It could be different things for different people. But this year, it's all about not trying to overcompensate. Because say, for example, if you feel like you are constantly being in need of being taken care of in some shape or form, you may find yourself in a position where you have more than enough. So you may overcompensate for that by trying to give too much of yourself or too much of your resources to something that you shouldn't be oversharing with, right? Or overgiving with, or that, you know, you give too much in one area and another area is starting to suffer as a result of that, right? So again, it's about finding balance. That's what the whole thing is about anyway, across the board. But I feel like for you specifically, Libra, because you dealt with some very challenging energies, especially with that King of Wands in reverse, you could have dealt with some very controlling, manipulative energies where there was a lot of codependency. Just make sure that you don't overexert yourself and don't overexert your giving nature and this leadership kind of role that you're stepping into, because you don't want to fall too much to the other side, right? It's about finding the balance between. Hopefully that makes sense and you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's all about balance, doing things in moderation, okay? That's the thing. All right, and learning. Wow, okay, that's weird how that card was there like this with the King of Swords, Aquarius energy, and the Page of Swords in reverse. Yeah, learn from past situations, past mistakes, the errors, not only that you made, but others made when it comes to yourself, okay? Hopefully that made sense, because that was a bit of a mess. But anyway, moving on. Let's have a look for the sign of Scorpio. So what is it that Scorpio needs to know? What is the key theme for Scorpio in 2022? Okay. Interesting. So Scorpio, you have the 4 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, and you also have the Temperance card in reverse, Sagittarius energy. It's interesting how certain cards keep coming up for you guys. But yeah, for you Scorpio, I feel like this is about not losing hope. Okay, this is about not losing hope, especially if you've had a lot of disappointments in terms of your love life, okay? Because that seems to be highlighted here. You're so used to being independent at this point that even when the divine tries to give you a new opportunity in love, for a lot of you, obviously some of you are paired, but for those of you who aren't, I feel like you're so used to being completely self-sufficient and independent that you just don't want to even waste your time entertaining, you know, love again, because you feel like it will just be a disappointment and you can't rely upon anyone else but yourself, okay? You are, this is like the opposite of codependency. This is like being too self-assured about your independence, okay? Again, everything in moderation. It's good to be independent. It's good to not be reliant on others, right? But you have to be also open still, right? I feel like emotionally you're being worked on this year because your heart space has been closed, but that is changing, okay? So when the divine shows you that there is something coming in for you that's meant to help you heal your heart space, you need to be open to that. Even those of you who are in a relationship, I feel like you may have had some really challenging times in your relationship and you may be kind of in this apathetic energy. So you need to be open to communication, to healing, and working with the divine when an opportunity presents itself to do just that. Okay. And Sagittarius, let's see what the key theme is for you this year. What is the key theme for Sagittarius in 2022? Too many cards. For Sagittarius, please. One card, please. Okay. You have the Magician, Virgo, Gemini energy, King of Pentacles, which is haunting the collective apparently, Taurus energy, and the Judgment card, Scorpio, Sag energy, your energy. All right, this is awesome. Sagittarius, the key thing for you this year is you are powerful. You are creating so much abundance, it's not even funny. You are very stable. You're very solid. I feel like you are entering a period of prosperity. You have been deemed worthy of significant abundance this year, but it's important that you ground yourself. You ground your energy. Don't let these blessings get to your head, because if you start thinking, oh, it was all me, oh, I'm just that great, I'm deserving of everything on a gold platter, guess what? As quickly as those blessings came in, they can be taken away from you. So make sure that you don't let it go to your head, okay? Remain grounded. Yes, there are incredible things happening for you this year, but stay firmly grounded, okay? Keep your feet on the ground. Don't lose sight of the vision. Stay true to your principles, okay? You do that and you're going to have a phenomenal year, I feel. Okay. So now let's have a look for the sign of Capricorn. What is it that Capricorn needs to know? What is the key theme for 2022 for Capricorn, please? For Capricorn. Whoa, too many cards. Okay, there's a lot going on there. So an interesting year for you, it seems, Capricorn. One card, please. The divine is definitely wanting to talk, though. I saw the Judgment card wanting to come out. Just one card, please. There we go. Thank you. Alright, so Capricorn, you have Four of Wands. Wow. Page of Pentacles in reverse, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, your energy. And the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy. Taurus is really strong in these reads. But anyway, Capricorn, I feel like this is about reflecting on where you are committed. What are you committed to? What do you want your future to look like? Because I feel like the traditional model of commitment may not be fitting for you, okay? Not to say that you don't want to maybe get married, have kids, have a solid career or a business or anything like that, right? It's not about that. It's about, you know, the intricate details, because I feel that your life is going to take a very different shape and form to pretty much everyone around you. So if there are others that don't really understand your approach, your lifestyle, or the vision that you have for yourself, don't take that to heart, is what I want to say, okay? You might not have everyone on board with your choices, okay, is what I want to say. But you need to be accepting of that, because not everyone is going to understand your path. It is very specific to you, okay? Your success is going to look very different to others. How you accomplish that success is going to be very different from those around you as well. It's not traditional. That's why the Hierophant is in reverse. You know, you're kind of shaking things up, right? You're doing something almost groundbreaking is what I feel. But if you do that, I feel like you're going to see significant success here. I also feel like it's going to lead you to someone that you're going to have a very serious commitment with. Maybe you decide not to get married, right? But you're going to be in a long-term commitment where perhaps you'll be buying a home together, something like that. You'll be crossing paths with someone who does get it, is what I want to say. So don't worry about those who don't. Okay, and for Aquarius, what is the key theme for Aquarius in 2022? Same card when it's come up. For Aquarius. Okay, you got 4 cards, but that's okay. You have the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy. 4 Swords in reverse, air energy. The Queen of Wands, that is Aries. And the 4 of Pentacles. Interesting how you have 2 4s, one in the upright, one in reverse. Okay, so as above, so below. Okay, right, okay. So yeah, Aquarius, you have a spiritual test coming up. Okay, and like I just said, as above, so below. This is all about how you build your foundations, okay? What do you base it on? Do you base it on what you feel is aligned to your spirit, what is aligned to your principles, your values, your beliefs, your morals, okay? What you hold dear to you? Or is it based on what makes you look good, your ego, right? So that's coming into question this year. If you build a foundation that's based on greed, ego, appearances, you're going to be in for a real shock this year. But if you build it based on integrity, on what you truly value, what you want to nurture, your principles, then I feel like you're going to see so much healing, so much restoration. You're going to feel like finally things are really starting to solidify this year, and you can build something truly monumental. So the choice is yours. So again, I feel like this is going to be a big test for you, right? Because somewhere along the line, I feel like you may have flip-flopped between the two. So this is the year where you really solidify what your foundation is made of. And once you do that, that's going to dictate how this next life cycle plays out for you. So don't take it lightly. Okay. And now let's take a look for Pisces, last but not least. How is Pisces? What is the key theme for Pisces in 2022? For Pisces, please. Okay, 4 cards. Oh, of course you would get the 10 of Swords, Pisces. Okay, so you have the Hanged Man in reverse. That's your energy. The 10 of Cups in reverse. The 10 of Swords, okay, and the 5 of Swords in reverse. The good thing is the 10 of Swords is the end, okay? The 5 of Swords is in reverse. So this is not as bad as it looks, okay? Again, this is about perspective. So I feel like you're learning some huge lessons this year in terms of, you know, how you handle, how you deal with hardship, pain, betrayal, strife, okay? I think you went through a lot over the last few years, I'm going to be honest, especially since I've been reading for you guys. You've been through it, okay? Everyone knows it. You've been through it, okay? But what you need to know is that whether or not this cycle truly ends or you delay it, and remember in the key messages at the beginning for the collective, I was talking about some people may stop on the path and start looking around instead of moving forward. That's you, okay? You're in danger of that if you're not careful. But I feel like for the majority, you won't do that. But it's just to be aware that if you do that, then you're going to be stuck in this in-between state. Because bearing in mind, the 10 is completion. It's already done. You cannot go beyond that, okay? Because it just starts back to 0. It goes back to 0 and starts over with the 1. So the 10 is finality, right? So even if you try to go back to try and heal something, rectify something, get some kind of retribution. It's not going to work because that door is shut, okay? All you can do is prolong the pain that is caused by this instead of going towards where your happiness lies. So it's a bit of a warning for you guys, okay? Use your intuition, use your discernment, okay? Look at things from an elevated point of view. Bear in mind, you guys are very tapped in. You're very spiritual, like the spiritual sign, right? So it's important that you use that intuitive awareness that you have to recognize that this is done. There's no closure needed. You already have the answers you need. It's time to move forward, okay? You do that, you're not going to experience this type of energy anymore, okay? Okay, so that is the reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Very different to what I usually do, but I figured it'd be a good way to just get some key messages on the types of things that many of us are going to be navigating over 2022, especially because honestly this year is significant. It is shaping what is to come in the following years, especially over the next, I would say, 6 to 8 years. It's going to be really, really significant what we do now. So it's important to be aware of what challenges may come up, what lessons need to be addressed, you know, especially in terms of what we learnt last year and the previous year, and obviously this, you know, the years before that, so that we don't slip into old habits, so we don't repeat cycles that well and truly done. You know, it'd be a shame to kick off a new cycle with the same energy and fall back into the same karma. So hopefully that helps, just to give you a heads up. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it useful, enjoyable, insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel, especially as I want to start producing more content again and make sure that you guys get the messages that you need. It does take a lot of time and energy to get these videos out, so if you do enjoy it, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. It all really does help and I much appreciate it. So have an amazing start to 2022, and yeah, go on as you mean to go on, and I think you'll be surprised at how fruitful this year can be for you. So sending you lots of love, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.